Hello everyone, Talented Toy Boxer here alongside Han Solo to make another episode of Toy Box Tutorials. So the topic that we are going to be focused on for today's episode are 3 toys. Our first one is the Path Creator and how to make a checkpoint race. And our second toy is the Challenge Maker. And our third toy is going to be the Timer toy. So basically you're going to get 3 Toy Box Tutorials episodes and just merge them into one Toy Box Tutorials episode. So there's going to be a lot of information. So this video will actually be long. So you need to open the editor and you need to go to Creative Toys and you need to spawn in the Path Creator. So I'm going to stick it right here. And then you just want to create your little race. This is the checkpoint race. So I'm just going to go like this and do some little curves. So I'm going to keep on doing that. Okay, I don't want that many points. So I'm going to go over here. And over here. And for some reason, I thought the enemy over here was a boss, like a boss battle or something. And then we're going to come over here, and that's going to be the end of our little track. So now what we're going to do to make this an actual playable race, we're going to need 2 more toys. We're going to need toy number 1, the Challenge Maker, to make this an actual playable race. So we're going to set this down right here. And basically, if you don't know what this toy is, you can make like a toy box game with it, basically. And your toy box game has to have a start condition and an end condition if you put this in your toy box game. So if we open the logic menu, we have 5 options. We have a new logic connection, a new locator connection, new time results connection, and a new score results connection. We haven't gotten into the score results connection or the time results connections, so we're just gonna leave those alone. And you need like a timer or a score results thing, but this is the time results thing, and we might get into this. So if we go to properties, we have 11 options. Auto start on toy box game load. So if you turn your toy box into a toy box game, so you need to turn your toy box into a toy box game if you want to use this option. And this is so this will automatically start the game. This will automatically start the challenge or whatever you make when you load the toy box game. If you set this to on, we're gonna leave it set to off because in order to do that, you need to use a toy box game maker. We haven't used that yet. We haven't actually got into it, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much. So we're gonna move on to the results score label. So this is actually what you want to see. So if you select this, you can change it. So originally it's set to points. You can set it to time, like the time limit. Not actually the time limit, how fast you do it. Enemies defeated, how many enemies that you actually kill. And defeats, this is for how many times you get defeated in your toy box game. And gates, like how many times you go through a certain gate. So we're gonna leave that set to 2 points. Actually, we're gonna leave that set to time. And it looks like it got rid of this option, but it actually didn't. And here we have results rank order. If you select this, we have 2 options, high to low or low to high. So basically, this doesn't really do anything, but this is so basically what this is, so if you have it set to low to high, so when you have the scoreboard toy in your toy box, after the score results actually show up, you could have this set low to high for whatever player got the least points, or whatever player got the most points will show up first. So we're gonna leave that set to default high to low. And now the start location, if you select this, we have 3 options: separate player 1 to player 4 locations. So this means they will be in different locations every time you start the Toy Box game. They'll be in the same location if you start it twice, just far away from each other, and all players at one location. So if you don't touch any of these, then it will basically do that, all players in the same location. And here we have separate team locations, so that basically means different locations for the team and the enemies that are actually on the team supporting the player. So we're gonna ignore that. And now we have the end location, the end condition that we were talking about. So we have 5 options: the current location of where this is in right now, and the challenge maker, a locator, and separate player 1 to player 4 locations, and separate team locations. So I'm pretty sure you can all understand all of those. And here we have a use end location on a board. If you leave this set to on or off, it doesn't really do anything. I don't know why they added that option in, but we're gonna leave that set to off. And here we have quit Toy Box game when ended. So this means that means if you have the auto start on Toy Box game load set to on, and if you have this on, basically after the challenge. And by the way, if you want to use any of these options that we're talking about for the Toy Box game maker, you have to actually save it and turn it into a Toy Box game by using the Toy Box game maker, of course. And we're not going to get into that. But after that, once you have this set to on, if you have this set to on as well, this will just quit the Toy Box and take you to the main menu once you actually complete the Toy Box game. And here we have game start countdown if you wanted. This is if you wanted to have it do a 3, 2, 1 go thing. And then here we have, you can change the title and the description. And since the Disney Infinity servers are down, if you select this, you can't actually do it at all. So we're going to ignore those. And here we have the challenge type, what you want the players to actually be in for the entire challenge. All vehicles and mounts start on foot, that means on the ground. No vehicles or mounts, which is basically this one. And here we have ground vehicles, if you wanted a player to be in a certain ground vehicle for the entire challenge, and if you wanted a player to be in a mount for the entire challenge, or the same with sprinting mounts, bashing mounts, helicopter vehicles, and fixed wing vehicles. So many stuff and many things in here, and many varieties of things that you can actually do. So we're not going to touch any of those, but if we go to new logic connection, we have a couple of options here. We have invites accepted when all players are ready, and started. So basically these do the same thing. Then we have game ended when you don't want to play it. Then you go to the pause menu and end the challenge. And when the game is completed successfully, or when the game has failed, and that you do it wrong. And here we have when a player actually closes the results. So we're gonna do invites accepted, and I think it should show up. Yeah, start checkpoint path tracking. So if we come into the properties of this toy, we're gonna tweak it. Properties. We're going to have this set to on, looped, rail slide off, and we're going to have this set to off for now. And if you come down here, you have 2 options. You have a default path checkpoint display. So if you select this, you can select like these challenge rings or a racing gate, or have this set to none. Like a challenge ring, some orbs, and some collectibles that you need to collect, and all the rest of the collectibles that are on screen right now. So we're gonna leave this set to racing gate. because that's what we're gonna use. And the racing gate's really simple to use, so I won't really be explaining how to use it. I won't be explaining how to use it at all. We're gonna select racing gate, and here we have race lap count. How many times you want the player to actually how many times you want the player to actually overlap and continue the laps. You can set it to 100, but man, that would be a pain. So we're just gonna leave this set to 1, and now we're gonna exit. So if we want it to be time, you know, the timer for the end. So if we want it to do that, before we do that, we're gonna do a couple more connections. So if we go to a new logic connection in the path creator, we have 4 options for the path tracking thing. Checkpoint path tracking started, checkpoint path tracking stopped, checkpoint path lap complete, checkpoint path race complete. So if we do checkpoint lap complete by so after that we have I think 6 options, or maybe a couple more because there's teams here. I just noticed that. So you see this yellow bar, that's the scrolling thing. You can't really use it, but that tells you how far you are. And we have any player, all players, so you can wait for all the players to stop the tracking. And player 1, player 2, player 3, or player 4, or the blue team, orange team, green team, and purple team. And we haven't mentioned teams yet. We haven't talked about that, so we're not going to get into that at all. So checkpoint path lap complete by all the players. You have to wait for all the players to actually do it, and this will complete the game. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to come over here when the race is complete. I think we should actually delete these connections. Hold on. I want to have it be complete, so we're going to delete this just in case. When invites are accepted, this will start the checkpoint path tracking. And we're going to come over here when the checkpoint path race is complete. Hold on, we have to have it be the lap by all the players. So basically I didn't mean to do that. Complete the game. And if we come over here, actually we need to delete that connection. So let's see what we deleted. Okay. So I'm getting a bit confused. So we're gonna do path lap complete. So when the lap is complete by player 1, this will log player 1's completion. And if we come over here, when the lap is complete, this will, by player 2, this will log player 2's completion. There we go. And we're going to have it be a mount race. So we're going to come to the properties of the challenge maker, and we're going to come to challenge type. We're going to have it be mounts if we want to force the player to have a mount. And after that we have default mount, so they can have it be any of the mounts. We're going to have it be bullseye. Actually, let's have it be the, you know what, we're fine. So we're basically done with the properties in here, unless we need to do something else. So now we're gonna need the racing gate toy, and we're gonna put it over the points. And actually, we're not done. Okay, so since this is set to time, we can't set it to gates. So we can't set it to how many times the player goes into how many gates the player goes through, but we're gonna use the racing gate toy and put it over these points. So we're gonna put that there, put this here, put that there, and that there. Then we're gonna put this here, and then put this here, and then we're gonna put that there. And we're gonna put, so we're gonna put this here, then we're gonna come over here and put that there, and we're gonna put this here, and this there, and this right here, and this toy right here, and we're gonna keep on going. I don't know what happened to the music. It just shut off. I'm not hearing anything now. It's supposed to play the Fantasia theme, but now it's not doing it. It's just dead. It's just dead silent for some apparent reason. And this is not the first time this has happened. Okay, there we go. Now it's playing the music. And we're gonna put this like right here. We're gonna put this like right here. So you have to actually be careful and try not to bump into this when you come here. And then we're gonna come over here and come over here. And so we're gonna put this toy right here. And then when you cross this one, it will actually end the challenge. So we've basically created our fun little game, and it is pretty confusing. So this one will actually end the challenge, and you have to go through this one. Look how many racing gates there are. So now we need something to show the time results. So that brings us to our third toy that we're going to use, the timer. And we're going to set this toy right here. And then we're going to come over here, new logic connection. When the game starts, basically, we're going to connect it to here. This will show timer display. And so it will show timer display. And we're going to come over here, new time results connection. We're going to connect it to the timer. It will link the time for results. So now we're gonna put like some mounts. Now we're gonna put in some mounts for our toy box. I'm gonna select Bullseye and put this toy right here. So now I think we're actually done. That's actually about it. But before we're actually done, if we open the logic menu for the timer toy, we can see there's two connections with the challenge maker, and we can move to this connection area to what we connected it to. But we're going to focus on these two options, not the time results one, because we already did that. So if we open the properties, we have three options. The target time, so this is seconds, but once you actually start the challenge, then this will actually be minutes. And here we have a visible display, countdown from target time. So visible display means if you want the timer to actually show up like a display on screen. And here we have countdown from target time. So if you leave this set to off, then it will actually start counting at a random number. And I think it's gonna do that lap timer. I want it to be the lap timer. You know, the extremely fast one, like the speed running one. I want it to be that one. So I think there's something to actually, yeah, we did something to complete the game. And we're gonna come over here when the game is actually completed. This is gonna stop checkpoint path tracking. Oh, it just kicked me out of the logic menu. When the game ends, we're gonna come over here. Stop checkpoint path tracking. come over here. So that's basically all we need to do. So now we're gonna exit Spark mode. And now all those connections should have worked, but we are missing some things. New logic connection when crossed always on. So this doesn't really matter, you just have to go through all these. But when you cross this one right here, crossed always on. Let's see what happens if we connect it to here. Alright, we don't want to do that. So if we do a new logic connection, crossed always on, this will complete the game. Multiple connections created, and if we come over here and go to the properties, deactivate when triggered, we're going to leave this set to off. If you do crossed always on, I actually think it's just going to stay on forever if you have that set to on, that one option in the properties. So just in case it doesn't actually spawn us on Bullseye, we're going to go ahead and hop on to Bullseye. And now we're going to walk onto here. And we're going to start the challenge. Alright, so we're actually on him. And there's a racing gate right here. And I can shoot my gun. So now we're going to do our little fun race that we created. I got a trophy called, a feat called Gateway. So I think this actually got switched. We're going to use the magic wand to guide me. Since I don't know what is which. Since I don't know where I'm supposed to go, we're just gonna speed things up by actually starting to run with our mount sprint. So the timer didn't show up. So what that basically means, we're gonna go ahead and cross that. And for some reason, this is right here. This little pole here, and we actually don't need it at all. Okay, so whenever you do that thing to force the player to be on the mount, whenever you force the player to be on the mount so they can't get off of it. So we're going to end our challenge. Alright, there we go. So basically you have to be on the mount this entire time if you do that connection. And there was something that I needed to do. Oh yeah, we need to use a toy that we used previously. Not previously, in a couple of Toy Box tutorials episodes ago. We need to use the time delayer toy to actually delay the time. So we're gonna set this toy right here. So now we're gonna come over here. Gonna do a new logic connection. When the game actually starts, we're gonna come over here. This will start our delay. So let's see if we have two connections with this. Alright, so this one will show the timer display once it starts, and this one, I think it was the time results connection. Yeah, that was the one. And if we go to the time delayers properties, it will delay time by 1 second. That is what we want. And this toy is a bit buggy when we do the delay completed connection. So I think it starts at 0, so that's why it gets extremely confused whenever I do that. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna do a new logic connection when the invites are accepted. I'm not sure. Okay, you can't. So I think you'll automatically be on him once the game actually starts. Okay, yeah, you'll automatically be on Bullseye once the game starts. And it's probably gonna fail our game. Okay, yep, that's literally what it just did. So we don't want that. And we don't want it to fail the game. And it didn't even show the timer display. So that means we have to delete these two connections. And now we need to come over here. And we don't need this toy. We're gonna go to properties. Not actually gonna go to properties. Getting a little bit confused here. I feel a little lightheaded. Leave time for results. Oh. New logic connection. When the game starts, this will also start our timer. Not pause, not pause. No, it will not pause the timer. We don't want it to be paused. We're gonna come over here. Started. This will start the timer, and then we're gonna come over here. I don't know why it just kicks me out of the logic menu like that. Link time for results. Then the time delayer toy. I want this to actually work this time. So the target time is going to be enough time, like 5 minutes. I want to go to target time. Have this be... we're going to have it be the same thing, because it is a bit confusing. So if we go to the time delayer toy, when the delay is completed, it will... Alright, let's see. This will fail the game, and I think the timer actually starts at 0, so maybe that's why it just keeps failing the challenge repeatedly and repeatedly over and over again. So when we start the challenge, we'll be on bullseye, and this racing gate comes out of nowhere. And I already know it's gonna not work. Right now, it actually worked. So now we need to run, and I'm gonna use the magic wand, because I'm kind of forgetting what you need to actually go through. So we're gonna keep on going. Keep on going. These don't actually do anything. You might think they're actually doing anything, and I think they actually duplicated the infinity sign, because I'm seeing 2 for some reason. Oh, there we go. So that's our little fun race that you can do. So it actually showed the time thing. So that's how you make a checkpoint race. And you can use like checkpoints. You can use these as like checkpoints. I'm not gonna create like an insane one where if you fall down, you'll have to restart from a certain checkpoint. So that's how you create a checkpoint race. And I forgot to do something. When the game is completed, we're gonna come over here. Let's see. Not start delay. So it's still delaying time. So when the game is successfully completed, we're gonna come over here. This will hide. And timer might be broken after this actually. When the game is failed, this will actually hide the timer. There we go. Come over here. New logic connection. When the game ends, this will hide. And then we come over here. New logic connection. When the results are closed, we're gonna come over here, and this will actually reset the timer, but it will not start counting down. So that's how you make like a checkpoint race or something. And that's also how you use the challenge maker and the timer. So leave a like on this video if it was helpful, and if you've seen the other videos, then you already know what to do. If you haven't, go check those out, because I explain what to do at the end of my video. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.